sitting here with a legend, an icon. Let's not be humble today. Let's not be humble, okay? We got to know we are in the presence truly of greatness. Thank you for all the years of giving us your art, your vision, and continuing to do it with such grace.
Oh, man, humility works everywhere, but I'm appreciative. Thank you. But y'all are legends in your own time, too, so everybody got their lane.
No, thank you so much. I mean, truly, Grammy Award-winning legend, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee. The list goes on and on. You really changed the game, right? And I say that because people need to understand the history and really the backstory that we are in the position that we are in today because of yourself and other legends and icons have paved the way.
Well, I'm in everybody's phone. We all screen ages, so that's the bottom line. Everybody, I tell people all the time, say, all you gotta do, everybody's in that phone. So when you tilt your head and press a couple buttons and a couple prompts, we'll pop up.
Yeah. Well, Chuck D, it's incredible to be having this conversation with you. Congratulations on a new album.
Yeah, it's a full circle with Def Jam. I'm like Tunji is like the Godfather over there, so I'm like the Tom Hayden. I know I'm dating the movie, but he was a consigliere. It's great when they do the panels or when one of the artists might want to get untwisted and good mentorship. So it's good to be in a coaching position. And also be in an area where we start to look at, okay, what is Def Jam and Universal? What do you got holding that you need caretaking and curating? Because if it doesn't get caretaken and curated, then you leave it for the undertaker. And too much of rap music, hip hop, black music, R&B is kind of like a last priority because we don't kind of take care of our own thing and everything grows from us. So it's good to be in that position. And I do a lot of independent things. We create technologies and apps. I create, I guess, the world's first cultural app called Bring the Noise. People can go to bringthenoiseapp.com. But what we do, we try to be a service for the art form, and that's my main purpose. That's my joy. I started from radio, and it's full circle. So the Radio Armageddon is a project with Def Jam. It really, can you call it an album? Is it an EP? I guess, but does it have singles? No, it has shavings. So the first, shaving is New Gens, which basically talks about like every generation has its own accountabilities and responsibilities or whatever that got tend for itself. And then I think the latest one is Black Don't Dead, which, we say black don't crack, but it can die. So there's things that attack us like hypertension, diabetes is attacking people in their 20s that we got to take care of ourselves, and the best currency is revolutions around the sun. So that's it. But it's a project within a label, I think, that is still the statement around the world on how to, march the genre into other genres.
I wanted to ask you about Def Jam. For maybe someone who's listening right now may not understand what Def Jam means. What did it do? How could you summarize this, and why was it important? Why did you say yes to working with them again?
Well, first time working with Def Jam was when Rick Rubin tried to chase me down for 2 years and get me to do records in the first place. And our area was radio. So we wanted to be we were at that particular time. Radio wasn't like you play rap music on the radio. It wasn't like that.
So this was before 24/7 hearing hip hop and rap on the
unheard
radio.
of. Rap was heard on the weekends only.
Right.
And
a specialty show.
And some places, they would not have the DJs talk at all.
Ooh.
So, this station became the place that was 24 hours, but that was in the 90s, early 90s. That's 93. I remember the first day.
Right.
And so, but before that, you talk about New York City is the land of a million MCs. So we've been hearing MCs since 1975. So sometimes when a YG, a young head, comes to me and they say, yo, Unc, OG, yo, like, what do you think about this? I said, okay, it's cool, but I've been hearing MCs since 1975. And in this city, if they're still alive, they'll tell you, like, yeah, I heard that day and I heard this day, and this is where they're going to, like, lay their, conversation and opinion of it. But that's how we used to do our radio. We used to treat hip-hop right. We introduced it. We promoted it. We played it. And so I did it so well that Rick Rubin wanted my voice to be up in there after the Beastie Boys and LL Cool J.
It's crazy.
And I was like, we want to do radio. We don't want to do records. And, I like to be heard, not seen. Flavor likes to be seen and heard. They're the combination, Public Enemy, the rest is history.
Yeah. What's your relationship nowadays with Rick Rubin?
Oh, birthday. Hey, happy birthday. Yeah, what happy birthday. My relationship with Rick, even back in the day, was 1 sentence, 2 sentence, we good. It's some, some people is telepathic.
Right. Yes.
And then some people will pick up where you left off.
Oof.
And, it's a lot of people you come across. You already know.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all know you come across a lot of people in the industry.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes people are at your door every day, and sometimes people pick up where they left off. They see you for 3 years, but it's just like it's normal. So, yeah.
What kind of friendship?
Rick Rubin and Russell Simmons started Def Jam. So every once in a while, I hit them with a note, boom, 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 and we keep it moving.
Yeah. So how is it now, like current day working with them? Did you feel like the energy was still there, was, electrifying? Like, what did you get this time around that was different?
I like Tunji. And Tunji's the CEO of Def Jam, and he has a lot of that same energy that the beginning of Def Jam has. It's not a far throw to figure out how it started. You could go to that old movie called Crush Groove, and that's the beginning of Def Jam. But Tunji, being the CEO, I like being in a position sometimes as mentorship. Somebody's all twisted, untwist them. If they do a panel at a South by Southwest or whatever, I'm that extra, OG logical mind to say, listen, spectacle gets you in the building, maybe. Spectacular keeps you around for a long time and keeps them coming back for more. So there's a difference between being a spectacle and spectacular. When you spectacle, you got a lot of competition. When you spectacular, you outlast them.
Damn it.
So.
Damn it. Wait, before we get deeper into conversation, can we talk about the Knicks? I can't have you in my presence and not talk about the Knicks. What is going on?
I've been a Knicks fan since 1967 at the Old Garden, which was on 50th and 8th. So I'm telling y'all. And then, a lot of times, what I kind of don't like is when you hear like elders and OGs and all that. And I don't want to tell my age. It's the revolution around the sun. Yes. You can't avoid it. Yeah. So I brag about age. I was at the Old Garden before y'all look at this being the Old Garden, which been there since 68. I've been a Knicks fan since 67. I was 13 when the Knicks won the last championship.
Wow.
Right? Yeah, I'm 65 this year. So the thing about it is that I work with a lot of the podcast young heads that's in the middle of major media. So you talk about big up to Knicks Fan TV, CP the franchise. He's like a king god of basketball podcasting in the city, and there's other podcasters that go around, Nick of Time Show, Nickinator, So they all use their whole prowess online. So outside of the Garden, which sometimes could get like Goon Central Station or Goon Square Garden when we win, and Knicks fans, we not afraid of nobody. It's Knicks versus everybody, because Knicks fans beat up on each other. And now we got generational layers of Knicks fans. Yeah. Where OGs just got to stay out of the way because they got a different understanding. They climbing on Nike signs. I don't know what their parents is thinking. Yeah. See, the thing is, some young cat jumps on a Nike sign. I say, their parent is freaking out right now. Right. They 300 feet up on a sign. So that's the downside about filming every little thing. Right. Because you don't know what'll float to the news. They be like, boy, if you, so... Yeah, so do I make predictions? No. Ooh. I don't make predictions on athletes. They are stronger fraternity with each other than we are as fans.
Wow.
We wasn't rivals with the Boston Celtics. They like big brother, we like little brother. I don't
like the Celtics, I'm going to be honest with you.
We're not really rivals with Boston or the Celtics in basketball. Because, when they've been hot, we've been, and when we've been hot, they've been, and there's been a couple of intersections. But this time around, we had to get past them. Our real enemies are the Indiana Pacers and the Miami Heat. So there's a lot of venom going on, and if we get past them, and not only get past them, we want to ruin their franchise.
Yeah.
We just sent them packing back to the ABA.
Katrina
and that's
is
how it's going down.
Katrina's a basketball guru.
Yeah.
And is this what you imagined Chuck D was going to say?
No, I'm the OG elder, so, I mean, and I'm not even getting vexed over it. Let me tell you, the younger generation, 25 and under, young gens, new gens, they got a whole different following of the Knicks. Because 10 years ago, when they was 15 or 10 or whatever, they had to come up in a time where their parent or older sibling or whatever, and the Knicks, as they say, sucked.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they in a whole new realm, and they the microwave generation. They ain't got no patience for waiting for anything. So it's either win or we tearing it up, and even lose, we tearing it up. So I'll leave on this note because I'm not trying to put no message out to everybody on the Knicks. It's gonna be what it is. We beat up on each other.
Right.
It's New York. It's New York versus everybody. I don't know what the Nets fan is doing this day.
Oh, wow.
They need to go to Seattle. Seattle needs a team. It's the Knicks beat up on each other.
Yeah.
So I'm watching it, and as an OG, I watch every moment and relish every moment, and I'm really happy for people like Clyde Frazier and Patrick Ewing and people that, and all my cats. And, and my last Nick note is that I remember it was such a time where I wanted young Rick Brunson to get some run with the Knicks.
Wow.
Yeah, when Rick was coming up. So the fact that Jalen Brunson, king of New York, and he's the first person to handle New York City as a star. He's the most beloved New York athlete, I think, since Derek Jeter.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's a big statement.
Yo, the man's the captain.
Yeah.
The captain, being a captain in New York.
That's hard.
You got to want that.
Yeah.
Sports is hard. But here we are in hip-hop. Hip-hop is hard it needs to be harder.
Ooh. You don't think it's hard enough right now? Or what would you like to see for it to reach those standards?
Competition with each other. If you're going to rap, you got to have vocabulary. Mm-hmm. It's all right to rhyme in triplets and all that, but also people been rhyming in this city for 50 years, maybe 60 years.
Yeah.
I have a statement. I've been your age. You ain't never been mine.
That's right.
So I've seen MCs in the 70s, 80s, 90s. They all use the same words. I mean, unless you like flipping languages, and then you got MCs in other lands, they flip and braid languages. Like you go down to Brazil, you find an MC that could flip 3 languages.
It's incredible.
Even flip it backwards. So you can ignore it if you want, but in sports you can't ignore it because a person dunk on you, they just dunking on you. In spitting, we got to pay attention that vocabulary is important. Linguistics, that's what we're talking about. Today, music is sight, sound, story, and style. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people, they listen with their eyes. They screenagers. Yeah. So they listen with their eyes. So you got to have a presentation. Sometimes people don't have a sight or a sound, but they have a style and they have a story. Mm-hmm. And that makes them an artist too. So there's 4 qualities. And these 4 elements are the qualities: sight, story, sound, and style. The same thing in MC, DJ, and graffiti and dance and stuff like that. What I like to see, I like to see more dance culture. Oh, really? Because when we started, we started with music that moved your mind and your body. Yep. And you come out from like music that's moving you. You come out sweaty. So you doing cardio. you sweating. Yeah. Me, I'm a mad skater back in the day. Yeah. So you skating and jumping. I don't mean like skateboarding. I mean roller skating. Yeah. So music moved us. We didn't have to move to the music. And once you erase the dance floor, clubs ain't got a dance floor. Cats is posing, they're kind of mimicking their video. They've been doing that for like 30 years now. That's a little tired. Yeah. You're past it a bit. I want to ask about some MCs, and you tell me how you would rank them. Here we go. I mean, me with my rank. Meaning Mount Rushmores and all that. I know, but you have. It's you. We got 10 different generations now. You got 10 different generations in hip hop and rap music. So I'm going to narrow it down more for what I would say, Katrina, I would say blog era artists, right? Because I do feel like they're like at the top right now. Okay, here we go. Kendrick Lamar. Great presentation. I think he recognizes his following. Mm-hmm. He plugs into them.
Yep.
He doesn't deviate. He kind of leads them. I think he has a recognizable style.
Right.
See, another thing is that if you have a voice and you sound like somebody else and somebody sounds like you, what makes you distinct? Oof. But he's big enough to actually to make a, when you see him perform, he's spectacular. So he's able to, he's a nice physical artist.
Yeah. Okay.
Bottom line, if you're going to go to a show, if you're holding your phone up and not looking at it at the same time, is it capturing your interest? If you down in your phone and not looking at the stage at all, you might looking at the screen, the big screens and all. That's a different presentation. But there's some artists out there you can't take your eyes off.
Who would you give that title to?
Well, if you want to go like back in the day, the reason that LL Cool J became a superstar,
for sure,
is because you couldn't take your eyes off him.
Right. For sure.
And I don't mean the sexy part and all that. I mean as far as activity, it's just
presence,
energy.
Yes.
Energy. Yes. Like, can you rock fast? Can you rock slow?
Right, that's right.
Can you make the crowd sweat?
Yeah.
Is the crowd just staring at you?
Right.
Are they nodding their head? Are they just head nodders?
Yeah.
Are they moving their bodies too?
Right.
Do they dance?
Right.
Or, I mean, even it's not just hip hop.
Right.
You go to a wedding today and like the dudes all on the wall and the women are dancing with each other.
Wow, let's dance.
That's just cornball.
Yeah. Okay.
Dudes wasn't afraid to dance back in the day. You had to have game.
Yeah.
Today it's like, I mean, do you have so
yeah.
But you know what it is? It's like dudes is, and this for the last 50 years, dudes is shy.
Yeah.
And they don't want to admit they shy.
Guys need a lot of help nowadays. I'm going to be honest.
Excuse me?
The fellas need a lot of help. They need to stop being scared to get on dance floor. We have another legend icon.
They were scared back in the day. Chuck Chill Out was just walked in the house. Back in the day, if you DJ a party, Chuck, and cats is on the wall, you don't want them to be on the wall. That's a big issue.
Well, they do that now.
I know. It just didn't start like that.
They tell me we don't talk to girls no more. They come talk to us.
No. We got to change that.
That's what the young cats told me.
No.
How long does that last, Chuck?
I know,
that don't last long.
When we saw a girl, we was like, yo, what's up, baby?
You have to have game.
They tell me, oh, we too cool for that.
Yeah, but they only know what they know. They don't know 10 years later.
And then they taking pictures in the middle of the party.
That's it. They take the
phone.
Here's
another thing. Another thing. We don't need 50-year-olds to try to act like 30-year-olds.
Right.
We don't need 30-year-olds to try to act like 20-year-olds.
Right, yeah.
Because everybody got to have their lane.
Yeah.
And here's another thing. Young ain't no excuse because I could take any 18-year-old and then post a 13-year-old next to them, and then they want to plant their seniority and their tenure next to them.
Reminding them, like...
Yeah, of course. I'd be like, okay, I'm going to take all the rights that your 13-year-old brother going to have all your rights. Y'all just are going to exchange ages. No, you want to age up.
Right.
So if you want to age up and you want the rights that you already work for, then you can't come up with the excuse, I'm too young.
Yeah.
That's an excuse.
Where are you going?
What? I'm talking to a legend. I had to get dressed up. I usually don't dress up like this. That's how you know it's a special day. Okay, wait. Okay, next artist I want your opinion on. How about J. Cole? Where do you put him?
J. Cole was what you call a tweener. He was between generations, so he took a little bit from the generation before him, and he was able to apply it to the generation that was his following. Then what smart move by J. Cole is he stepped out of the and said, "Yo, I'm gonna pass this up." The Kendrick Lamar Drake
situation,
because
correct?
he says, "Yo, man, how immature do you want to be the third party in a beef that's not even coming at you?"
Right. I thought that was very mature of him.
Of course,
it's better than me.
If you're over 25, when does maturity step in as an artist?
Yeah. So you like that?
Well, you can't be 35 rhyming about 17-year-old things.
Yeah.
A 17-year-old sees it coming.
Yeah.
Back in the day when I was growing up, we used to look at grown people like 36 years old sing love songs.
Yeah.
But you had no choice. It was the Jackson 5, the Silvers, and I was into sports. I really was. I was into pop music. Still am. I mean, I was in a rock band 4 years in a row, one of the top in the world. So the world between rock, which is really hard, and hip hop, it's almost like sometimes with me, I like to see it like get up in the growing up stages, go pound for pound, punch for punch, blow by blow,
right?
Hardcore. And hardcore don't mean like you saying all the worst things to belittle somebody. It means you got a voice that's ready to rip. You got a style that's ready to rip. You got beats that's ripping and people is moving. It doesn't mean you just say all the worst things because, those are kid tricks to fool the naive.
Right. Yeah. What do you think about Drake?
I think Drake is a fantastic actor that's able to look. Tupac was a fantastic actor. Back in the day, you didn't have the access. You didn't have the tools to look at a film or a video and get a lingo down, get a vernacular down. You looking up at something and you looking at it over and over again so you could get it down. Today they had tools, so you could go to YouTube and really get a style down. And I think when I first saw Drake, what I was able to see is somebody that was being a chameleon of styles. He didn't really have a style. He was just able, but that's a great actor. That's a good actor.
I think he has one of the best catalogs ever. Body of work over the 10 years that he's been in the game, it is hard to consistently.
I think that catalogs count when you're diversified with it. But then again, that's just me, my personal taste. I always would tell people, like when I, produced Ice Cube's first album with him, I said, listen, there's just a couple of rules. Don't repeat yourself twice.
Oh.
And don't try to outdo yourself on the first album. Just have gradual changes going and amping and ramping up. But, we get real technical with hip-hop and rap like cats do with ball. Real ball players, and they know what the technical end game is. So I do a lot of coaching. When leaders of the new school, when we coached them and gave them their name, and people like Busta Rhymes,
it's crazy.
These guys, we used to say, listen, the only thing where you're going to beat out everybody, run around this racetrack, right, and backwards and spit your verses to build up your lungs.
Damn.
Because the number one is like, if you battling somebody, battle until the other dude run out of breath.
That's it.
And then here's another thing. Can you rhyme and move at the same time?
That's a whole different ball game.
And so the thing is, if you don't take care of your spit, your rhyme, your lungs, your body, you might be able to do it at 17, 18. At 37, and if you pumped up with this, that, and whatever, and ain't really moving and working to it, you're gonna be sedentary. And then standing and rhyming in one space is cool, but is it something to look at?
How are you able to have just great meaning behind your songs and still reach the type of success that you have, right? Because a lot of times, when we think of messaging or somebody that has really substance to say, it might not get popular, right? But you crossed over by being true to yourself, getting to the pop charts, which we're going to talk about.
Well, the pop charts came to us.
There it is. But how? What's the formula or the sauce behind that? I think that is incredibly
Take it to
incredible.
The world. When we first started, we took it to the world hard. So we've hit 120 countries hard. Most people was afraid to go outside the country. They'll be complaining about food. It's different now.
Right.
Now you could go to places and it's just like down the street and everything is like scrubbed up, gentrified, and looks like New York or whatever in major cities. But back then it was different. You go to England, which is London is Public Enemy's base. So the minute we got our passports, we were the first to go out and be gone around the world. So whenever one spot fell, another spot rose. To the point that to this day, I mean, myself, Public Enemy, and Flavor, we're gonna open up and play with Guns N' Roses. So we were the first group also to seriously, after Run DMC and Aerosmith did their thing, we did our thing with Anthrax, and we're the first to actually do, consider, like a rock group. Because it's hard to do. It's cardio, it's hard, it's fast, it's ugly. It's not meant to be liked.
Were the rock groups nervous to go on tour with you because they knew, there was energy behind everything that you guys were doing, right? So like Guns N' Roses, right? They're not like, all right.
No, that was the thrill was nobody knew. Like when we was at Anthrax, you remember Anthrax? There was a speed metal. It was thrash metal. So thrash metal is hard.
Yes.
And we did Bring the Noise together. Either you do the songs or the songs do you. So that's my advice to a lot of artists. A lot of times they might make a song might be hard to do. And I say either you do the songs or they do you. But also with new artists, they have their audiences that understand. No matter what their areas of inadequacy might be,
right?
They'll roll with it because that's how much they love that act.
Right.
So if they lip syncing or mimicking or whatever, and they think it's cool, A purist might say, oh, man, they ain't even doing their verses. Yeah, but their audience kind of like whatever. They like whatever, especially after the pandemic. After the pandemic, rules changed again.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Everybody forgot that the government told them to stay in the house for a month.
Gosh.
Even the street thugs out of the thugs. I said, the government told you to stay in the crib for April 2020. You don't remember that? I'm saying, Unc, I just stayed in because nobody was outside. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. The biggest thugs the biggest thug is the dude that was 45 that became 47.
Yeah.
You ain't getting no more thug. The other day, that dude talked about Bruce Springsteen. It sounded like he was in a seventh grade lunchroom. He a New Yorker, born in Queens, 12 years earlier than me. He's showing out right now. He ain't playing.
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I voted for Kamala.
You know what?
You saw the worst display. I don't care. I've heard all kinds of nonsense. I swear to God, bots had to be out there influencing some hollowheads out there to be saying all these. She saying she Indian. I heard so much nonsense, BS, bullish out
real.
there.
The bots are
and I'm
real.
like, a bot led you to say that to think it's like 8 heads out there that you gonna agree with. I'm like, the woman's a black woman. Yeah, but she prosecuted and all that. I like, save that.
The bots are real.
The bots is real.
Was there anything comparable to that back when early on in your career where there were people controlling, or influencing how people were receiving music? Do you get what I mean? Because we see the bots not just in politics. We see it in music. We see it just within culture in general.
Yeah, they hid behind the corporate veil, I should say. So you never found the individuals. Program directors with radio stations never would identify themselves. TV stations, they never would. The front person was a person on the screen, but the ones with the marionette puppeting strings behind the scene, you never knew. And I used to always tell the community, find out individually who they are, where they live, and you'll get your changes. Ooh. I mean, they did it in the government. When I did radio in this city of Air America in 2004, we tried to get Son of a Bush out, right? Mm-hmm. So I think one of the persons that was in the cabinet, they sent a whole bunch, they sent school buses to his crib outside D.C. They found out who he was and made some kind of law change, and they were like protesting on his lawn.
Wow.
When people know that they're identified, it's like a cockroach when you turn on the lights.
Scatter.
Run. Or better yet, exactly. So in any movement, you have to identify the individual. Mm-hmm. Some individuals will say FAFO. You know what I'm saying? Then you know that you got to go to plan 2. Mm-hmm. And this time around, in this administration, they came around with a FAFO, like, yeah, all right, yeah, and?
Where do you think the boldness comes from? Like, your analysis, when you see what's happening right now.
Jealousy of melanin, number 1. Number 2, it's like, when I say, like, there's things that we sometimes take for granted, that we shouldn't take for granted, and it's our collectivity around the world, and the poorer people or the scattered people of the world, or the darker people of the planet, meaning people of color, and not part of the whole white Anglo-Saxon agenda that this is pure and this is not. So there is a collectivity around the world that people is people, human beings are human beings, regardless of that rhetoric. So one of the biggest divisions is when you go in and start believing a lot of those divisions, and religions step in, and then people are scattered. And those that know who they are, who say who they are, will then divide and F up those that don't know who they are. But that's a whole nother story, maybe too much beyond for a Hot 97 talk about beats, rhymes, and battles.
But listen, that's part of it, though. But I think that's what is also needed. I also could just be very jaded because this is the conversation I like. This is what, I think it's important, and it's necessary. Or we end up in the same situation that we're currently in, right? Because if the conversations don't exist, then we're not sharing important information.
You can't have a 50-year-old trying to act like a 20-year-old. That never gonna work.
Right.
Everybody,
in any setting.
In any setting.
Yeah.
You got to age up.
And you know what? It's okay to say getting older is a beautiful thing. Like
Of course
that means
it
you
is.
have life. That means you're able
That's
to
the
open
only
up your
currency
eyes.
that you know that you got, like, oh, I get another revolution around the sun. You can't teach that to somebody 12 and 14 and 15 because they only got 12 and 14, 15 years of experience.
Yeah.
But once you start crossing into the 35,
Yeah.
39,
Yeah.
43,
It's getting clear
47,
for sure.
that's why when you watch every NBA game, right?
Yep.
What they got? Pharmaceutical commercials. And
Oh,
they
damn.
selling everything under the sun,
Right.
right?
Oh.
You know, and they got a
Oh.
whole bunch of people with gray in their face dancing because they found the right they found the right medicine.
Right.
And they got beats behind it. You don't want to be doing medicine at 40.
Right.
And then anybody out there in the Hot 97, all y'all got to do is just ask your parent,
Yeah.
your uncle, or whatever. And you know what? If you don't start taking care of yourself at 20, you're going to have those same problems at 30
That's it.
and 31 now. They might have that problem at 43, 44. What you got in the food and the water and all that in the air, whatever, is going to make those ailments come
Sooner.
at 30, 31,
Yep.
29.
And it's happening.
Yeah. I mean, how many young people see with diabetes?
Oh, it's heartbreaking.
And it's not their fault. This is just what's out there. So be aware. It's like I said, I have a statement which is on the Radio Armageddon album called Black Don't Dead, because you hear a lot of people say, oh, black don't crack. Yeah, but it could die. It could die if you don't really know these things are attacking us. So, yeah, hip-hop could be used as a teaching medium. I'm part of the Hip Hop Alliance. Curtis Blow, KRS-One,
Wow.
MC Light, Chubb Rock. They have chairman and presidential positions, and all that is the first hip-hop union tied into SAG-AFTRA. So artists do, whether you're an independent artist.
I did not know that.
Yeah, you can go to hiphopalliance.org, and it's the first hip-hop union. It's been going for 3 years, and they're looking for more membership. So if you're an artist and you've been putting your stuff on Bandcamp or YouTube or whatever, and you just whatever, you can actually be a member of a union that will actually be able to get you some sort of benefits through SAG-AFTRA.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, this
Y'all
is
got to get Curtis
important.
Blow and Scott X up here and speak to the people.
Oh, that's important.
Yeah.
For sure. Because I feel like that's something that should have been going on for a long time.
It
Especially
has
when
been
you're
going
hearing,
on for a long time, more than 1,000 days. But, in news and hip-hop, unfortunately, and also an area of society, what gets the biggest news is the catastrophe.
Yeah.
If I come up and set this place on fire, there's the biggest news in New York.
Yeah.
It's like, so, I mean, why always the bad news float to the top?
Yeah.
But we already know the reasons, but why it's got to be like that in hip-hop? Hip-hop was a thing where, like Keith Murray said, beautifulest. The last time you said beautiful in hip-hop? Last time we used words like beautiful and love and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's the yin and the yang. I mean, hardcore doesn't mean that you say the worst thing about somebody that you know and love all the time.
Right.
But now they made a thing where we're showcased to always look at each other through the ageism, sexism, and of course the racism. You pour those isms in a bowl,
Oof.
you got an area of diminishing returns.
Yeah.
I like to come on here just to be able, like I said, I'm at Def Jam, not to sell a record. I don't sell records.
You
Matter of
don't.
fact,
You don't. By the way, you don't have to do anything.
No,
You're doing it because
Radio
you want
Armageddon
to.
up here, talking about the great work that my man, EP has done as we're going around.
You're
and
choosing
talking
to do
around.
this. There's a difference.
It's a project.
Yeah.
My projects ain't even meant to be liked. Matter of fact, if you don't like them, it's even better because it's ugly. It has no beginning, no end. We don't have singles. You just shave things off of it, and it's like whatever. That's what it is. So to be in hip hop, like really seriously, 45 working years is a good thing.
It's a blessing. It's the 35-year anniversary for Fear of a Black Planet. 35 years. By the way, it got to top 10 on the pop album charts. Okay, so I mean,
is the pop album is the pop album chart in whatever that was? Is that does that have a high ranking in magazines? Because a lot of times people
I think
say
back then, and I think even now, charts still. The reason I say that
I
is
love
because
charts. Not playlists.
right. the conversation, the lyrics, the topics that were being discussed on it. We had it all, right? It was intense. It was heavy. We felt there was a certain energy. So for pop charts, right, a lot of times in this day and age, we just associate, pop charts is just, it's fluff. Nobody cares. There's no depth to it. But that's not really the case, especially when you see what you guys have done.
Well, I think every rapper today has some depth in one or two bars somewhere. So I don't think the curators and the caretakers are out there and administrators. Look, EP's here. He's a service person. He's an administrator. How often does he get an interview? A lot of people want to say, how do I get in this business? You see the artist, see a DJ, you see an MC.
Right.
Okay, how about somebody, not just A&R, somebody who's like a rookie, as they used to say, gopher, let's interview you. And how is your first 2 months of being an intern? How's it going for you?
Yeah.
That person would be nervous.
Right.
And the other person would be, kind of like flanging for questions. But the rock world don't play. The rock world figures it out. And that's why you mess around with a rock group. I mean, they be out there 50 years.
Do you
Rolling
feel like
Stones is
it hasn't
80
happened
years
for
old.
rap? Rap hasn't figured it out? Hip-hop hasn't?
No, it's been too top-heavy, and it's been negligence. Not just negligence for a second level in the beginning startup level. You can't have things that are top-heavy. Sports.
That's right.
Sports got all tiers, where you got a 4-year-old fan and an 80-year-old fan at the same game with the same passion, crying at the end of it or yelling at the end of it.
I love that perspective.
In hip-hop, do you have a situation like that? Where the elder head and the younger person see and listen to the same thing. And don't tell me it's just like, it doesn't happen in music and culture. Then, okay, go down to Mexico and see like the 80-year-old and the 5-year-old, do their band thing. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like Fight the Power did transcend that. I feel like...
Well, thanks to Spike Lee.
Yeah,
remember,
sure,
it's the second Fight the Power.
Uh-huh.
I was 15 years old when the Isley Brothers did the first Fight the Power. And Spike Lee put a movie together in this city, talked about the injustice and the unbalanced situation in neighborhoods. And that song was born out of that movie's being the theme.
Do the right thing, yeah.
And he put it in there 1 million times.
It worked. And we could credit all of it to Spike, and we love Spike, obviously, friend of the show. But I do think that song has transcended time. To me, I could take somebody who is 11, 12 years old. I guarantee you more than likely they know that song.
Well, I whenever I write a song to last longer than I'm going to live.
What were you thinking when you created that song?
Spike said he needed an anthem. The best thing that typifies that song is when Giancarlo Esposito, the great actor, turns to Sal and says, Sal, Danny Aiello, says, Sal, how come there ain't no black people on the wall? And that's where the third verse with Elvis and John Wayne come from.
I didn't know it was Spike asking for the song is how the song came about.
Yeah, Spike wanted an anthem. That wasn't the first rendition of the song. He wanted us to do a flip version of Lift Every Voice and Sing that Hank Shockley said, nah, we ain't gonna do that. So we came up with Fight the Power, It Fit. I was on tour with Run DMC, and I actually wrote it flying over Italy. Yeah.
Damn. Did you think it would be what it is today? Classic?
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, especially after I saw how many times Spike put it in the movie.
Yeah. But before that moment.
Before that moment?
Yeah. Like, did you think it was gonna be what it is? It has its...
It wasn't a typical Public Enemy song. It was actually soft. We wrote records that end up, being like the template for people like MOP.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like hard noise.
Yeah.
I'm bringing the noise and Welcome to Terror Dome come out of me too. I have a mixed up mind where, and that's what Radio Armageddon is. It's like things like I hear in my head.
Yeah.
But Fight the Power is a compromise. We're doing a project. We're doing a movie. So therefore,
that's
we won't,
a compromise.
We won't
that's
scare
crazy.
the family and the kids.
Yeah. If a young artist asks you today, what does Fighting the Power mean in 2025, what would you say?
pay attention because it's the cheapest price to pay because now you're living in a blizzard of mass distractions at every turn. At every turn, looking to get you. And even people that don't think they got.
Oh, they
you
got.
might have been got. You've been got like yeah, you got just by having a phone in your pocket.
That's it.
Everybody thinks they're like, oh, I ain't compromised. I tell them like, you online, you done sign I accept on your phone 9 billion times to get that app. You assign your name to it, you pay through it, you get your money through it.
Yeah.
Like, you already compromised. You're in the United States of America. You're not a citizen, you're a netizen. You were whipped by the whippings of mass distraction. Just admit it.
Right.
And cats, nah. I mean, back in the day, cats was trying to be covert. And even when they tried to be covert, there still was an eye watching them. But at least there was a rejection of like, nah, man, that's Big Brother. I ain't getting online. I ain't getting no damn laptop. You know, now you got cats, old dudes, looking up their old girlfriends or girlfriends they wish they had on Facebook.
No.
You know, a 60-year-old dude on Instagram, IG, yo.
No, get off.
Yeah, it's like, you
please.
know, I believe that there's never been netiquette. You know, etiquette in real life for a citizen, right? Like, you just don't defecate on the sidewalk just because you feel like it, right?
Right.
Right. So that's just common, well,
You would think.
common,
Courtesy.
etiquette.
Yeah.
Etiquette, cleanliness with hygiene, whatever.
Sure.
There is no restriction online.
Yep.
So people feel they could do and be anything they want to be.
Right.
Pump their avatar, anything they want to be online because, you know, there's never been a law. There's never been, you know,
There's no
etiquette.
regulation.
There's no netiquette. And people haven't even been trained how to use their phone.
Right.
They don't even know when they buy the device, they on it for, it's like, you know, like when they tell you, you know, you only use this percentage of your brain.
Yep.
The average netizen only uses 15% of their phone. There's 85% of your phone that you pick up.
Yeah.
And there ain't three types of phones.
Right.
It ain't like this ain't the BlackBerry era.
Right.
When cats had singular wireless and all that, Motorola and all that. Nah. You got Android or iPhone choices.
Yep. That's it.
Those two. Coke, Pepsi. That's it.
That's it.
So anybody out there that think you can master what is already mastering you, try to manage your time. That's what you got control of. And try to manage your gadget. You're not going to master it.
Right.
And then we have around the corner, as we coming around the mountain here, they come.
Right.
AI with a vengeance. Because AI is not going backwards.
At all.
Even Chat GPT and all that, they've been effing up so much crazy. You could go check Chat GPT and they can't even get a fact right now because they draw on the grid.
Yeah.
And if the grid starts crumbling, then the AI starts going haywire. And then if you're trying to look for GPT or GPS or chat to save you,
good luck.
you're getting the wrong information because the best information in the future will be behind paywalls. And you ain't got no money, you ain't getting the right information.
And that game that you just gave out was free. And I hope people understand.
My life is giving out games for free. I got a degree in 1984. Everything I did as Chuck D, a Public Enemy, has been offered to the world for free through a lyric, through an interview, through whatever, and take it and run, especially my community, or even my surroundings. If they didn't get degrees, they got, they get peace of mind. We used to always say, it's like, even when we went to school together, and everybody had a different major, we used to convene and learn what each other's major was. And come out, I came out of Adelphi University in 1984 with 6 majors.
Damn.
No, well, I only have mine. I graduated with.
Yeah, but you're getting game from
people,
everybody else.
Even if
That's a lie.
Even if I'm talking to a girl or whatever and all, we kicking it. But I'm trying to learn what she
You're
what she
exchanging
paying
information.
For.
Yeah.
But that's how we did back in the day.
Man.
So wherever you go, you can learn from somebody because intelligence is you can't measure it because people are gifted in different areas.
Yeah. I also wanted to thank you for always supporting and showing my husband, Colin Kaepernick, so much love throughout the years.
Oh, no question. Like
Well,
I said,
listen.
I took a knee in 2016 and didn't get back up. Number one, I got pissed off because as much as the Jets sucked, they ain't pick up Colin.
Right.
Like, they ain't found a quarterback until, 2019, till like maybe no, we'll get Aaron Rodgers and all that. But, when I followed the NFL, I'm Jets fan. I grew up as a Jets fan. So when Colin took that knee, we took that knee, we protested in Prophets of Red. I didn't get back up. Yeah. First of all, they changed the game where it's too soft for me to watch most of the time.
But you never back down, and I have to thank you because so many people did, right? And so many people wavered in the process. He is blackballed because of his protest to this very day, right?
No, I think he's whiteballed. But
whiteballed. Whiteballed. But meaning you were you were vocal about it. You were telling people, hey, don't watch the game, don't support them because they are punishing him for standing up and really protesting against police violence happening against black people. That was why he was protesting, right?
I can only speak for me.
Sure.
I've never been a person that said, don't do this, don't do that. But I would lay out the reasons why I wouldn't watch it.
Right.
And why I'd be like, you know what?
What were your reasons? I want people to hear it from you. If they didn't follow it, follow me looking at your post.
I didn't think the Old Boys Network or ownership was honest with its audience and its total population. Mm-hmm. They'll tell you that we don't even pay attention to the racism, but football team owners, that's a real cracker club, and they know it.
Oh,
and they pass it down
clear.
like that. And they still think that they're America's pastime, although I think the heart and soul and the energy of the people is in basketball.
Yes.
Because it's a world sport.
Yes.
And American football is the 48 states. You know what I'm saying? Because they only go to Hawaii for the Pro Bowl and they ain't in Alaska. So it's like, but it is a pastime. I grew up with being a baseball fanatic. Mm-hmm. I didn't like how baseball ruined small market teams. And I didn't like how somehow it didn't find that its link is still within the community, how to build it, from the grassroots up. I grew up playing baseball because, you got to get together with 8 people. You got to get on the same page. But then again, look at this, and it goes to like even black folk in this city and around the country. Once upon a time, we were broke. All of us was broke. Good times was a symbol, but we wasn't broken, right? Today, we broke and broken, no matter how much toys you got from China or whatever. You broke and broken. You name leaders today, you gotta figure around like, leaders are not your athletes. The leaders are not your artists. Leaders are people who do real things in real time for real people, that fight for real people, and you need artists and the athletes to co-sign that.
That's right.
In the 60s, when I was growing up, you had real people. I listened to Dr. Martin Luther King in real time. In this city in New York, he was on the radio in real time. Malcolm X was in the streets and on the radio in real time. He got assassinated in 1965. This is the 100th year anniversary of his birth, May 19th.
That's right.
2025.
Happy birthday, Malcolm X.
Malcolm X, right? But people listen to Malcolm X. I listen to Malcolm X, and I vaguely remember as a 5-year-old, see him on TV. Dr. King, I remember clearly because I'm 8 years old. And like I said, I was a Knicks fan at 7. So, you recognize the things, writing book reports and all that, being sent home from school after he's assassinated and on April 4th in 1968. New York City schools was already on strike, and they shut down, especially for a week, harder after Dr. King was assassinated. I don't know what they thought. They must have thought that black folks were going to riot in the streets because this is only a year after Newark. And so in New York, look, King got shot in Memphis. We ain't going to open schools, and we're going to shut down jobs for a day. That's how deep it was in the New York streets back then when Dr. King got assassinated. So I remember hearing these people in real time. The great Stokely Carmichael, Kwame Ture, he changed his name to, in a transition not much later. He said, man, and they coined Black Power. And when they coined Black Power, they forced entertainers to pay attention to them. They said they was on James Brown's tail every day. And what happens? James Brown comes out with Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud. So artists and entertainers enjoy the luxury to make people feel good, say things that's beautiful, but also be able to co-sign with people that really love and care about us, and whether they're in politics or religion or not. And I think with this unified situation, they might dip further into religion and think that, God gave them a credit card to do whatever. They might go further into politics and say, well, people are too dumb to vote, so therefore I'm going to do what I want, people in authority. And they'll just tell you that, the people that mess up, that got guns and drugs, they won't give them the say so that these things came from somewhere else.
Exactly.
I remember clearly like yesterday. It's like we were people that kind of we argued, we did this one another or whatever. We might have bust you in the head with this and that. But the guns and the drugs at the end of the 60s was to destroy that black is beautiful thing. And when I was born, I got Negro on my birth certificate. Then we were colored for 2 or 3 years, just like a South Africana or something like that. But by the end of the decade, black was beautiful. And J. Edgar Hoover and his COINTEL program said we're going to figure out ways to stop that. And it worked for a little while, and then they came with 10 years later, guns and drugs, and that was another layer, COINTELPRO. And in the 10 years after that, they got into hip-hop and corporations, then they found another layer of a different type of COINTELPRO.
What is it today? Is it the bots?
It's the tail end of, right now, new systems of addiction and control come through your phones. Because regardless of anything, if I took your phone and smashed it against the wall, it's going to strike an emotion in you. Like, what the are you doing?
Yes.
I could take it from a 5-year-old, smash it up against the wall, he start crying.
Right.
Take an 80-year-old, took that phone and throw it across the street. What are you doing? And of course, the answer would be like, you just don't do that with anybody's property. But the deal is that there's a deep, deep attachment far within. And how far are you going into your phone? How much of the phone are you using and how much is using you? Ugh. So I'm not here to be a scientist. I'm here to say that we all play our part. At the age that I am, if, I can't teach, then I shouldn't even open my mouth to speak. And I usually keep it shut and listen.
I'm a student of the game. I want to ask you this. At the time when Colin was protesting, did you, with your wisdom, experience, knowledge, did you know that they were going to white ball him? Did you foresee that? Or did you think he would eventually be able to play? This is a man who went to the Super Bowl, who still holds some of the best records to this very day, right? Went to 2 NFC championship games back to back. Did you think at that time?
Hell no. I knew he was going to. Number one, I knew he wasn't going to play because the game ain't that long. It's just like every week it's one game. They play 16 to 18 the most, and there's the playoffs. It's the old boys network that been around that gained its power in the 60s, 70s. It ain't like
and so
baseball.
You knew.
It ain't like baseball. Baseball power started out in the 1910s, 1920s.
Yeah.
Football football was football, but the National Football League started to figure itself out like in the mid-60s. So what you had was new generational wealth in the middle of last century, and then it grew almost into an elite arrogance. Like the Giants ownership. Like, what would they care about anything if they got seats sold out into 2050? Right. They got to listen to. They got you on them. I gotcha. So I knew that, Colin Kaepernick was a modern-day Kurt Flood. But I also knew that most ball players at the particular time didn't know who Kurt Flood was. And I wanted to work closely. And I work, I'm friends with the Kurt Flood's family because one time I was going to play, on Arsenio, but before Arsenio Hall, when he had a show back in the day, I kept asking, I want to be on your show, but I want Kurt Flood to be with me.
Yeah.
So, back when I was young, I was a bit of a troublemaker.
We
on the
loved
screen.
It. That makes me
radio.
sad hearing that.
What?
I mean, just the foresight of it all and seeing it. And I wish it didn't have to cost him his career and his livelihood, right? For Kurt and for Colin and for really anybody who's had to.
Because there's a lot of teams that, look, if it's football, talking football, there's a lot of suck teams out there that could have used him even as a second or third string immediately.
Yeah.
Because he showed that he had a skill level.
That's it.
Basketball, there's been players that have been banned because they crossed the line, maybe drug offenses and stuff like that. So the commissioners come in and they say, listen, if you're this way, you can't sell the game. Obviously, somebody in the NFL said they can't sell the game with Colin Kaepernick taking a stand like that. And what area around the National Football League put pressure on it? It wasn't going to be the NCAAs. What other football you got?
Right.
Yeah.
And you know what? I thought it was going to matter that he did the Nike commercial and it increased like Nike's net worth to $1 billion. I thought him having his number 1 jersey while still being blackballed showed them something that
What
really
made you think that?
Naive. Thinking that the energy, right? Think of, collectively, this can change.
American football is not an international sport enough to be able to have it be in check by somebody else with common sense.
Yeah.
It's a national game.
What lesson do we take from that? And I say that humbly because it's heartbreaking. Obviously, for me, it's different. It's close. I saw it happen in real time. I know what it means for our family.
Right.
What is the lesson do we take from that?
Build as much structure as you can. When you get it and you get in it, how much can you build while you're in it? It's a little hard, too, because you got to be focused on your job and your trade and your craft. And when you're in your 20s and 30s, everything comes fast at you. Surround yourself with as many OGs as possible that know what they're talking about, because a lot of times, OGs, we got brain fog. You know what I'm saying?
You said that, but I feel like you have been nothing but sharp during this entire conversation.
Life can't cut itself, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fact. But when we see just everything that's happened,
I only know what I know, and I'm good at 5 things, and I don't try to have a 6th finger. So I'm good at 5 things in this culture. I'm born as an artist. I'm an artist. I'm an illustrator. I spend most of my time with music and art and going to places like MoMA and telling everybody, if you live in a city like New York, enjoy the city. You got so many people in this city know not a damn thing about the city. Never been to the Statue of Liberty. Right. I mean, I say you don't go there, I don't believe in all that. But if you're going to be on the street, know a street, know where you live, know your turf. Also learn about your family and ask questions like, your auntie or your grandma, why did they move here? And if things like, I always been there, then ask her why her parents or who moved there. Before my great-grandmother passed away at 100,
wow,
lived in Harlem, for 80 years, and she moved up from North Carolina.
Wow.
1934, whatever. And I would ask her questions like, what made you move from North Carolina up to New York City? She said, number one, Jim Crow, it wasn't nothing down in Rockingham, North Carolina. And my sister moved up here, and she was able to get a job in Lower Manhattan, but get up to the crib up in Harlem for a nickel. So not only was able to get a spot to live and not have Jim Crow on your ass, you can work miles away because the greatest transit system in the entire planet is in New York City. So if you're going to live in the city, learn the city, and really learn the nuances of the city and how it's made for somebody else, and it could be made for you too. But you got to live to learn it and just not be here. And there's a lot of people that come to New York, they take advantage of New York because they learn about it and they seize it. So, I mean, it ain't nothing. It's no such thing as corny education and information. Look at the streets, know what the meaning, who they name the street after.
Right, and why.
Sometimes go to Rockefeller Center and go to the top. It's like, these things are here in the greatest city in the world for a reason.
Right.
And that's why also I'm proud to say I'm a New York Knickerbocker fan. In May 2025, we still playing basketball. Final Four, what? I ain't a Fugazi fan either, or I would say a Butler, PA fan,
Katrina, what kind of fan are you?
Butler, PA is a new word for fake.
Ooh, Katrina. Not me. Okay, be honest right now in this moment. Who are you a fan of?
I'm a Warrior fan.
Huh?
I'm a Golden State Warrior fan.
You should be a fan of your team. You
And
got
I've
4
been a
chips.
fan for
You
a
got
long-
some of these chips. You
Pre-championships.
falling out of your pocket.
Yeah.
Yes.
Her
And,
brother.
you would have got a little something, Final Four this year,
We
maybe,
coulda
if
made
Steph
it.
didn't get
Steph
injured.
got the hamstring thing. But
There
yeah,
you
I've been
go.
a fan since before Sprewell, Tim Hardaway, Mullen.
Before
Yeah,
that?
no, that's where I became a fan.
Oh, I was going to start asking you about Nate Thurman,
Yeah.
Rick Barry.
Yeah, no.
You know
That's
they
when I
won the
became a fan.
championship in 1975.
Oh yeah.
Hated them.
We got
Her brother got a
tattoo
tattoo of the Warriors when they were at their lowest point
They won
ever.
19 games in one season back in, I forget what year. And he was like, you know what? We can't go anywhere but up. So he
Got a tattoo.
Put a
That's
tattoo
crazy.
Well, that's how all us Knicks fans feel.
Right.
Just don't go to 7th Avenue if we win or lose.
Okay,
Trying
wait.
to tell you.
Before I know you're busy, but
Yes,
before you leave,
ma'am. Here's another thing I'm going to throw in, right? I say yes, ma'am, and yes, sir to everybody, and especially up north, you get it. People feel offended.
I am not. I think it's amazing. I don't remember the last
So,
time anyone
with
respected
the way
me.
that we being
Like,
thrown
in this
names
room.
of who we are, or we throw the N word or B word around, ma'am and sir balance out something. And they
Yes.
be looking shocked. They be like 22, looking at me like,
wow.
what?
I've never felt so respected. Katrina, have you? You know what? When she came out there and met you, she said, you were so nice. Like, it's not that we're not used to nice people, but it's just a rare thing nowadays. And she was like, oh, he's so nice.
No. Well, DJ Red Alert, cool DJ Red Alert, one of my
Legend.
mentors said, be careful of the foot you step on because one day it might be connected to the ass you'll have to kiss someday. That's an easy way of saying treat people like you want to be treated.
Absolutely. What do you think your younger self would say about you today and what you have accomplished?
Yo, you need to learn these words better. I got so much words in my head that I've never been a person that remembers words. So I was born with a great voice. So the voice hugs the microphone, and that's what started me out as an MC. It was like you could say 9 billion things, but when I grab the mic, they're gonna hear me. They're not gonna hear you. So I was a little cocky when I was 19 years old on the microphone, as you should be as an MC.
Yeah.
But I would, as an illustrator, I was cocky. As a person in hip hop, I wasn't. I was gracious. So I think the younger person would tell the older person.
Younger you, what would they think of you today?
Oh, I've always made plans in my life. I've always made 3-year, 5-year, 10-year plans in my life. So when I was 19 years old, I used to walk across Roosevelt in the dark. Pop Diesel seen me. I walk across by myself trying to figure it out because I couldn't figure out 1979. And I would take long walks in the dark. And I would come back to the crib and I would figure myself out without anybody else. And that started me off to say, I'm going to make a 3-year plan, 5-year plan, and then keep making 3 or 5-year plan. So now at the age now, I think I have a 15-year plan, 65 to 80 if you get there. And we also have to understand time is real. Ooh. And time is never on a human being's side, especially when you take it for granted.
Yes.
So you got to take advantage of every moment, treasure every conversation, listen. I listen way more than I talk, but I'm asked to come here and talk. I'm asked to come here and also maybe talk a little about a project I have. And when it's time to talk, I talk. And when it's time to shut up, I zip them out.
Your song, Next Gens, what is the number one advice you could give to a new artist, new generation of rap artists, anyone that's part of the hip-hop culture? Best piece of advice you would give them today? It could be anything.
In your lane, you have to do your best to impress people in your lane, in your age category. That's your competition. Your competition is yourself and people in your... You're not competing against old heads, and you're not competing against the next heads. You're competing in your lane. It's almost like in boxing. You got a weight class division.
Yeah.
You know? You got to win that division. It ain't, don't be thinking like you're going to compete against Nas one day or, we going to go head to head with J. Cole. It's like they in another thing. They got to satisfy their audience.
Right.
Public Enemy is going around the world whenever we want to, and our audience is going to be our audience, and anybody that comes into that, they're going to come into that audience.
Right.
So I tell artists, one person might as well be 10. Learn how to rock 10 people, and then it's easy to figure out how to rock 10,000.
What do you think is the most misunderstood thing about Chuck D?
That I'm some church preacher, which I'm not
What?
at all.
Not at all.
Yeah, he's like, you'd be
Come
like,
on.
oh man, Chuck D never curses. He's like a church minister preacher. No. I'm an old head who's an artist, damn near a hippie, an illustrator, and I'm a curator. I'm a curator, culturalist of the arts. That's how I try to tell people all the time. You go to schools out there, they support the sports team.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody go to the basketball game, go to the football game. They want to be active. They want to go pop on their Netflix or whatever, but you don't support the play in the school. Oh, the play in the stage or the what do you call it? When you have the play and the all that the stage and the
theater,
play.
yeah.
The theater.
Yeah.
They have theater classes in a lot of high school, and people don't want to join it because it ain't got no name, quality, and nobody's showing up.
Right.
And sometimes the theater class atrophies and disappears based on the energy or the person just saying, okay, we're not going to do this because we don't have enough students.
Right.
But yet still people want to be actors.
Right.
How you going to be acting and be afraid of the stage?
You gotta get on that stage.
You got to get on that stage. And stage fright is real.
Oh, yes.
Stage fright is real. A lot of young performers and actors hit that stage. They don't know how to handle that stage. You got to be taught how to handle that stage.
Practice.
Practice, and also reps. You got to get out there, and then you got to be like, you really got to engage. Don't turn your back to the audience.
Nope.
Don't be looking for excuses.
Right.
Don't be telling the sound man, turn it up. It's like your inexperience is going to make you look like you're inexperienced. You're going to be helped out a little bit.
Right.
As back in the day, you ain't getting no help. You on the stage or you out of there. Today, you got screens to help you out.
Right.
So if you ain't moving a lot, and you could kind of stay in one area, and every place, especially big places, got a screen to make you seen that will make you look better than what you're really doing on stage.
Yeah.
Next time you go to a giant event, you'll see that most people are looking at the screens instead of the actors on the stage.
Yes.
That's where we're at right now.
What do you credit your longevity to this game?
Oh, studying music and art, and you study everybody before, and then you study people who are fanatics.
Mm-hmm.
I credit sports for having it together. I credit rock for having it together. So I just try to bring those things to hip-hop, and I'm very alert and very aware of those things that are great. And I pay attention to people, places, and things in that order. People are the most important.
Mm-hmm.
Places are very important. You go to a place, you just don't go to a place. You absorb the place and you appreciate it, just like you walking into a person's crib. Take your shoes off,
That's
enjoy
it.
it, right? Things, are acquirable. Anybody could acquire things down the line, or that's way down the line. But sometimes they flipped it to say things, places, maybe,
Right.
and then people.
Good luck, even with people.
Yeah, good luck with people.
Good luck.
So things are flipped, and it's old marketing, OG tricks where you could we could always get an audience one time.
Yeah.
But make them, they naive, they don't know what it is. We could trick them and fool them and get that sale. Mm-hmm. So
2 last questions. How do you want people to view the legacy of Public Enemy?
Public Enemy, the greatest group of community guys on the planet in hip hop movement. And hey, listen, musically, if I had to say I had a tangible thing, Chuck and Flav were the greatest voices in hip hop, period. I mean, not Pat myself, but we've been sampled more than anybody. It's like, if it ain't flavor, it's me, So that's the God-given part. But then there's the effort and the workforce of every single one of the people in Public Enemy. They've always been cordial, from DJ Lord to Terminator X to Professor Griff, the S1W's brother James, down to Flavor. You go to Flavor today, and he's a very cordial person. The producers, Hank Shockley, Keith Shockley, Pop Diesel, we entered the musical field, in a way where I mean, all of us had jobs, so you can't act a fool at your job. Look, I was telling this earlier. I had 18 jobs between 1977 and 1986. Me and Keith Shockley changed tires at Sears. I loaded mail trucks. You can't come into having your own situation if you never worked a job. A job will teach you how to run your business and your brand.
Yeah.
But it's important to have a job.
Yes.
Because a person will pay you to do that particular. Don't mean you got to stay there.
Right.
But do your job, and when it's time to go, check out.
Right.
But that will teach you on how to do your own thing when you find out that your toolbox is full and you got the skill to do your own thing. Then you got to be responsible for other people.
Oh, and that's a whole different ball
I
game.
tell people all the time and say, "Oh, so you want to be sloppy at this job, but you want to have your own business so
Good
you
luck.
compete." Yeah, right. So
Good
you can
luck.
have your own business to
Right.
treat people sloppy like you were sloppy at the
Right.
job.
Nope.
Nah, it doesn't work that way.
How do you want your legacy to be remembered?
I'm a culturalist, an artist, and so to me, is art is God. So you want to enhance people. Look, having character is more important than being a character. So you want to work because look, having character, being a character, you out to enhance yourself.
Yes.
But having character, you out to help and enhance a lot of people for the benefit of people, So it's a difference.
Wow. Thank you so much for being here today. I can't believe this is our first conversation.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
let it only be when you got a project. Listen, we're happy. Radio Armageddon. Don't get me wrong.
That's right, Radio. But
Come back anytime, please.
Well, a lot of people listen to this radio station, and they're not all, 19.
Right.
They're not all 29. They're not all 39. But I would like to tell you that when this station's signal started out, it wasn't just the demographic that they said they had. They had a chance to be able to have people in hip-hop from 5 to 55. And then something happened in the water and in the mix that made it end up being what it was, and it is what it is. But when you broadcast across New York City, you were talking to so many people
Yes.
in this city that you can't imagine to have been with the art form before, it ever could be heard outside of the weekends.
Right,
or
the
a couple
specialty
words here.
shows.
Yeah, exactly.
Please, anytime, just know we are here. It is an honor. Thank you so much for being here with us today. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
This has been incredible. I could talk to you way longer, but I know you got places to be, and people to see, which is most important. So thank you so much for being here.
I appreciate y'all. Thank you. Keep doing what you do.